Donald Trump was putting kids in the cages, and it's inhumane. And how can you do it like that? Because they're black and brown bodies, and nobody take care of them.
But Washington Post, of course, media outlet of all things radical socialist, they are politely referring to this as a migrant facility for children. Oh, with bars on the windows.
We have to hold the Biden administration to the fire.
President Biden being accused and criticized for total hypocrisy. He has reopened the exact same child migrant detention center in Texas that he once himself bashed the Trump administration for operating. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris tore into President Trump on the campaign trail for operating border facilities for migrant children coming into our nation illegally. But now the White House seems to think those facilities are fine, necessary. The White House is defending its decision to renew those facilities, calling it a temporary fix for social distancing requirements during the pandemic. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says the intense criticism of the Trump administration doesn't apply now.
We have to hold the Biden administration to the fire. We have to hold the Biden administration to the fire. Just like, hey, Trump was fair game, so is Biden. They cried, and they fell on the floor and threw a fit until they were pink in the face because they claimed that Donald Trump was putting kids in the cages, and it's inhumane. And how can you do it like that? Because they're black and brown bodies, and nobody take care of them.
Illegal crossings are now way up. Not a surprise. Now, this includes kids under the age of 18. That is forcing the Biden administration to open an emergency facility for kids, or as the media mob used to call it under Donald Trump, kids in cages. This time, they're actually tiny trailers that look like shipping containers with bars on the windows. But Washington Post, of course, media outlet of all things radical socialist, they are politely referring to this as a migrant facility for children. Oh, with bars on the windows.
And they did all of this stuff, and Biden administration is putting kids in cages. And I want you to listen to the press secretary's response.
Kamala Harris said that this facility, putting people in this facility, was a human rights abuse committed by the United States government. And Joe Biden said, under Trump, there have been horrifying scenes of at the border of kids being kept in cages. Now, it's not under Trump, it's under Biden.
This is not kids being kept in cages. First, the policy of this administration, as you well know, but just for others, is not to expel unaccompanied children who arrive at the border. And the process, how it works, is that Customs and Border Control continue to transfer unaccompanied children to the HHS Office of Refugee Resettlement. That can take a couple of days. I just want to give this context because people need to understand.
Nah, you trying to beat around the bush. Get to the point, girl.
Let's take a step back and let's review how we got here. We start the year's 2014, and that's when then President Obama encountered a massive wave of migrant caravans filled with unaccompanied minors. In order to process and house these migrants, the Obama administration acquired a warehouse, and they used, you got it, a chain-link fence to divide children from adults. In the following years, the Trump administration, they continued to use the Obama facility for unaccompanied minors and other migrant children whose parents were being prosecuted for crimes. They did the same thing Obama did. This was a temporary holding facility where children were housed for less than a week.
But because of COVID-19 protocols, social...
Don't blame it on COVID. They always blame it on COVID. Don't blame it on COVID. You got kids in cages. Just say it, lady.
Distancing requirements. The capacity of existing Office of Refugee Resettlement shelters has been significantly reduced because, of course, you can't have a child in every bed. There needs to be spacing, and we abide by those spacing to protect the kids who are living in those facilities for a short period of time. And to ensure the health and safety of these kids, HHS took steps to open an emergency facility to add capacity where these children can be provided the care they need before they are safely placed with families and sponsors.
And that's not what Trump did?
And then there's Republican Jim Jordan, who tweeted, "They're not kids in cages anymore. They're kids in migrant facilities." What changed? Well, the White House says what's changed is that over the last few weeks, there's been a tremendous surge in unaccompanied minors arriving at the border. Nearly 6,000 were apprehended in January alone. So you take that and combine it with coronavirus-related restrictions, and the Biden White House says they had no choice but to reopen it. But the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, insists this time it's different.
But anyway, these people are fake. They're fraudulent. We catch them in the lie every time. They're doing mischievous stuff, and they throw it under the rug because it's a Biden administration. I want people to understand this. Our media, schools, I mean, you go down the list. They're biased against Republicans. They're biased against conservatives. They wanted Joe Biden to be something that he's not. They're going to lie. They're going to cheat. They're going to steal their way into making him out to be something that he never was and never will be.